welcome to another exciting episode of Hammer's Tutorials. Today, I bring to you a very interesting topic. But before we dive into that, if this is your first time, make sure you subscribe, like, share, and also click on the post notification bell. And if you have any opinion in mind, the comment section is also there. So let's get right into it. Yeah, so in our previous video, we look at data presentation. And one of the ways of presenting data is frequency polygon. A frequency polygon is a typical example of a line graph. It just joins the frequency of a data set. So the reason why it's called a polygon is because after you are done constructing it, it assumes different shapes. Yeah, it assumes different shapes. So after you are done with your data presentation, and before I go into that, frequency polygon is only for a group data. So for a group data, you'll be having your class interval against your frequency. So after you have gotten your class interval against your frequency, before you can construct your frequency polygon, you need to find only one thing. That is the class midpoint. So let's put that in mind. You need to find your class midpoint. And we can only find our class midpoint from our class interval. So let's say you have a class interval of 20 to 30. 20 to 30 here. To find your class midpoint, it's either you sum the two figures up, that is the lower limit plus the upper limit, which will give you 50. Then you divide by 2 to get your 25, which will be your class midpoint. Or you subtract 20 from 30, and the amount that you get, which will be 10, you divide it by 2, you get 5. Then you add the 5 to the lower limit, which is 25. But I think that will be long. So it's better you just add the lower limit plus, you just add the lower limit to the upper limit, then you divide by 2. So I have a question on the screen that I want us to solve. Yeah, so in the question, we're already given the class interval against the frequency. In frequency polygon, all that you need to do is calculate for your class midpoint. So we are going to find the class midpoint. So after you are done with your class midpoint, you plot your frequency against your midpoint. So your midpoint will be on the x-axis, whilst your frequency on the y-axis. So like I said, if you want to find for your midpoint, it's either you sum the lower limit to the upper limit, then you divide by 2. So if you do that, here you will get, if you sum 12 and 15 up, you will get 27. And if you divide 27 by 2, you will get 13.5. So our midpoint here will be 13.5. And we continue with that throughout the class intervals given. So here will also be 16.5. Then we have 19.5, 22.5, 25.5, 28.5, 31.5, and our last one will be 34.5. So it's not anything difficult. You just sum the lower limit to the upper limit, then you divide by 2. Yeah, so like I said before, in order for us to construct our frequency polygon, you will just use your class midpoint on the x-axis and the frequency on the y-axis. So the class midpoint, you will not use any scale for it. You just write your class midpoints down here. So the first one was 13.5, the second 16.5, in that order. Then the frequency side, you will just look at the numbers, then draw your conclusion on which scale to use. So looking at the numbers, 2 centimeters to 2 units will fit. That's why we use 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. But let's come back to the class midpoint. Looking at the class midpoint, there is a trick here. You know, when you are constructing frequency polygon, it has to start from somewhere, from the x-axis, and it also has to end somewhere on the same x-axis. So we construct 2 additional points, one in the beginning and one at the end. So looking at the first one, 13.5, we have to construct another midpoint in front of it. So if you look at the first one and the second one, which is 13.5 and 16.5, the difference is 3. So we will less 3 from the first one in order to get the one that the construction will start from. So if we less 3 from this one, we are getting 10.5. So here will be 10.5. This will not be part of the class interval that you are given. But you yourself, you have to know it, then construct it. And the same thing, if we come here too, here is where the frequency construction will end. So we have to add 3.3 to the 34.5, and we'll get 37.5. 37.5. So here is where the frequency polygon will end. So now we can plot our frequencies against our midpoint. So here too will be midpoint. Here too will be midpoint. So the first one, which is 13.5, the first one, which is 13.5, has a frequency of 8, right? It has a frequency of 8. So you just stand on 13.5 and look for 8. Then you are done. Then the next one, which is 16.5, the frequency is 23, and that has the highest frequency. So 16.5, the frequency is 23. So here is 22. So in between 22 and 24, we will have 23. So in between 22 and 24, we have 23. Then that will be the 16.5. So that will be somewhere here, right? Then the next one is 17, which is 19.5. So 17 will also be in between 16 and 18. So that will be somewhere here. So 19.5 will get 17, which is somewhere here. Yes. And the next one is 18. The next one is 25.5, and its frequency is 8. So 25.5, its frequency is 8. We have 8, so this one, there is no need to look for any in between. That is 8. Then the next one, which is 25.5, the frequency is, no, wait. Sorry, this one is 18 rather. The 22.5 is 18. So we will look for 18, which is here. 22.5 is 18, sorry. So 18, which is here. Yeah, 22.5, 18. Let it be here, so yes. And the 25.5 is 8, rather. So 25.5, you have 8. So that one will be somewhere here. Yeah, 8. Then 28.5 is 4. So 28.5 is 4. 4 is just here. Then 31.5 is 1. So 31.5 is 1. And 34.5 is also 1. 34.5 is also 1. So like I said, we have to construct another additional midpoint at the beginning and at the end. So we will have another one here where the construction will start, and another one at 27.5 where it will end. So after you are done, you just draw a line. This is a free sketch line. You don't have to use ruler or anything between all the points, right? So you start from here. Hope it's clear. So after you are done, you will just draw a line to pass through all the curve, and this is what we call the frequency polygon. Like I said, it assumes different shapes. That is why it's called a polygon. And don't forget to bring your title. It depends on the question that you are given. Don't forget to bring your title. So with this title, we have annual salaries. Annual salaries of, let's say, people in commerce. Let's put it that way. Then you are underline. Yeah, nice and clear. So you can see. So this one is a way of representing data, and it is very simple. So you can see that 16.5 has the highest frequency. Of 24. It's easy to analyze and it's easy to understand. Thank you very much. If there is any misunderstanding, the comment section is there. Do well to share your opinion. Thank you. See you in the next episode.